Alright, hey boys and girls, I just wanted to do a quick video to review fractions on a number line. This is the objective NF2, so if you want to go on to learnzillions.com and watch some other videos, you can do that as well. First, I just want to talk about this number line and how you can tell what it's broken up into. So what should your denominator be? There are two ways. The first way is you can see how many equal parts there are on this number line. So I noticed that this is one equal part, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. So from 0 to the whole, I have 6 equal parts, which is all fraction is. So that's one way to determine the denominator. Another way is to simply count to the whole. So I can start with 0, and I'm just going to count by ones until I get to the whole number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I got to this last tick mark or line, I got to 6, so that tells me that this is 6 pieces out of 6 pieces in all. And if we use division, 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1 whole, so that I know that I have broken this up correctly. And then you notice each one, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, we're just counting up and adding 1/6, or the unit fraction, each time. Alright, so how do you do this on the number line if you had a problem where it asked you to break something up into sixths or eighths? How would you do it? First is to partition the number line, and again this word just means to break it up equally. And you always want to use one less number of lines than your whole. So if the problem's talking about Sarah eating 3/8 of her pie or pizza, you know that you're going to want to break it up into eighths. You always want to use the denominator or the bottom number, which represents the whole, to break it apart. So let's say that Sarah ate 3/8 of a pizza. First I'm going to partition. So I want to always have 0, and I always want to have 1 whole on the number line. From there, I'm going to break this up equally using one less number of lines than my whole, which is 8. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So I need 7 lines equally placed along the number line. Okay, and I'll double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have 8s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. Okay, so second step, count from 0 to the first whole number, and that's again going to make sure that my denominator is what it should be, or if I don't know what it is, I'll be able to figure it out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now don't stop here, make sure you go to the whole, 8. And this is my denominator, 8/8, which is 1 whole. And then the third step is to put the denominator under each fraction. Okay, so now I have just written each fraction increasing now by 1/8, or the unit fraction, all the way to the whole of 8/8. Okay, pretty easy, right? Now, if the problem now asks you to represent Sarah's eating a pizza at 3/8 with an S, you could easily come to the 3/8 and put an S for how much pizza she ate. Now, what if there's more than a whole in the problem? Now, we've done some problems where people are walking a total of 3 miles on a trail, and every 1/8 of a mile there's a marker. Same thing here. The tricky part is when you're counting from 0 across, you don't want to make this your whole, and here's why. So this has already been partitioned for us. That's step 1. Step 2 is to count from 0 to the whole. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, a lot of us, we get here and we say, oh, 8 is our denominator because this is where I stopped. But that's not true in this case. We have to stop at the first whole to find the denominator. This is broken into fourths. So between 0 and 1 whole, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. And between 1 whole and 2 whole, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. So 4 is actually the denominator for everything. And you can always double check this with division. Move this 2 whole over here. Okay, so 4 divided by 4 is in fact 1 whole. And 8 divided by 4 is 2 whole. So always double check that, because had I put 8 over 8 here, this would have represented only 1 whole. And 4 over 8 actually represents a half, because 4 is half of 8, and we would have been putting it at 1 whole. So we should have recognized that that would have been incorrect. Okay, and always remember that when you have the numerator greater than the denominator, it's going to be greater than a whole. Okay, if I were to draw fourths and shade 5, I would actually have to draw a whole nother hole just to shade in that 5th one. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so whenever you have a number line that's greater than a whole, you're still going to count all the way across by ones. You're just going to use the number on the first whole as the denominator for everything. And there are 2 ways to double check that. One is to count how many equal spaces you have between the whole. The other way is to use division to double check your work. Alright?